Can someone explain to me Kanye and Drake and why these two sister girls are fighting? Can someone explain to me? Okay, so Kanye is mad and wants a couple of different apologies. Drake apparently asked Kanye if he could use or get the clearance for a sample. I think Drake is trying to anniversary one of his albums that will be celebrating a 10th anniversary, and he needed some music clearance from Kanye, which Kanye denied. Kanye says the conditions towards this clearance will be as followed. I am not joking with this. This is real life, folks. Number one, Kanye says that Drake must apologize for dissing Yeezys. Number two, he must say sorry for being friends with Kris Jenner behind his back. Number three, he must apologize for having Pusha T attacked at a Toronto show. Number four, he must provide proof that Kanye did not spill the tea about whatever Drake's kid's name is. So he has to provide proof of that. And then five, which is most pivotal and also most funny, is that, okay, Kanye says that Drake must apologize for sending him devil emojis via text message through his quote-unquote most difficult times. I am not making this up. I couldn't make this up even if I wanted to. Those are the conditions for the clearance, girls. So I don't know what Drake is going to do. I don't know. But these two bitches fight harder than my nieces do over a piece of like cookie or something. Like, you guys, what the fuck? What the fuck? Okay? What the fuck? Truly. What in the good damn fuck is wrong with these niggas? First of all, Kanye, you're big mad because you think that Drake smashed Kim. Let's just tell the truth and shame the devil. You think that Drake did it to Kim, and that shit pisses you off. Here's the thing, Kanye. You have done it to a lot of people. That's number one. And actually, I'm defending Kim. And yes, that's right. Look at me with your side eyes, if you will. But I love, as much as I drag the Kardashians, I gotta tell you, I actually really see it for them and their careers or what have you. The one thing that I don't see it for with those bitches is that, just like all other white people, you guys love the culture more than y'all do us. You love the dick more than y'all do us. Now, I appreciate that Kim is going out there saving Miss Alice, and Chloe did her good deed by saving Mr. Lamar or whatever the case is. But listen, the fact of the matter is, I don't see you hoes really caping up when you should. Okay? And that's the one problem that I have with the Kardashian. You guys exploit black culture without having to deal with the nuances of the negative effects that we have to deal with just because of who we are. But yeah, Kanye's big mad because he thinks Drake fucked Kim. And quite frankly, he knew who Kim was when he first got with her. Okay? I believe that to be 100% true. Kim is no angel baby. Kim has never claimed to be an angel baby. And you know what? Kanye, you fucked up a couple of people in her crew too. Cause Kim used to hang out tough with that pussycat doll bitch, Melanie Thornton. Oh, bitch, don't think I don't know. And you used to fuck Melanie Thornton. Oh, yes, I do know. Okay? And for the kids who don't know, do your research. Okay? Do your research. Okay? Do your research. Now, I'm not sure what the deal is and how they're going to squash this out, but hopefully y'all will figure this shit out because I just do not have time. Have you guys... Let's just take a TV break. Have you guys? Y'all, I've been missing all of the good TV, but you know what I have been watching? That show Dirty John on Bravo, the scripted series. Yes, bitch. Yes. That show was fun boots. I love it. If you haven't seen it, please, I implore you, go and watch. Catch Dirty John. It's a really good show. Have y'all been watching Real Housewives of Atlanta? Am I the only one who's like over them? I want this. You know what I want? You know what I want? And Andy, I hope you're tuning in, doll. Here's what I want. I think, and you guys chime in, I want to hear your ideas, but I believe that what we need for Real Housewives of Atlanta is one last season, okay? One last show, one night only, okay? Where we get Phaedra, we get Sheree. And hello, I just want y'all to know that Sheree has been given a doctorate. Oh yes, there is a school out there that gave Sheree an honorary doctorate. Girl, please. They need to get all the dolls together, okay? I need to see all the dolls back one season, including Don't Be Tardy for the Party, Wig. I need to see her too. Kim needs to come on back. And we just need one last season. And then they should go away. They should go away. You know? Because I just think that the dolls have become quite boring. I think one of the things that we loved about Real Housewives of Atlanta is that you can see this beef as being actual Atlanta beef. No shade, no tea. But, you know, the shit that they fight about is very Atlanta, honey. It's very Atlanta. And I love Atlanta, Black Utopia, you know, except for if you are looking for a cisgendered hetero mate, ladies, then it's probably not so much. But Black Utopia it is. And the shit that they fight about, very Atlanta. You know, who invited who to whose party, who thought she was a star, but she really wasn't a star. Wigs being shifted, things of that nature. Who went out with, whose nigga went out with the whole metro Atlanta area. Like, oh, girl, I'm just so over her. And I actually could use just one last season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians too, because I'm actually sick of them niggas too. I just need something new, honey. I just need something new. Like, the girls is played. So have you guys been following what was initially a local story in New York City, but has now turned into a national headline-making story? A young lady in Boerum Hill, Brooklyn, was in I guess you would call it, a social services center where she was going to pick up babysitter vouchers, and she lost her babysitter voucher, which she found out from her babysitter. So she went there with her baby, because obviously if you don't have a voucher, that means you don't have a fucking babysitter. So she goes to the social services place. Long story short, after waiting for hours, she decides to cop a squat on the floor with her baby. Now let's just get into it. I've heard conflicting stories about this, but I was told that there were 200 seats inside the location, 100 of which were taken. She opted to sit on the floor, which, quite frankly, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares why she was on the floor? Whether she was on the floor because she didn't have a seat, or no one gave her a seat, or because of her own recognizance, she felt like sitting on the floor. Maybe that's what it was. What is there a big deal? Anyway, I go on. So peace officers that work within the building were called when she refused to relinquish her seat from the floor. And then this was followed by actual New York City police officers being called. One thing led to another. There's several images shown that depicted the police officers literally grabbing her 1-year-old son and pulling him like a tug of war. A 1-year-old baby, pulling him just to arrest this young lady for sitting on the floor. Now, the thing that was most painstaking to me is that when you look in the crowd of peace officers as well as police officers, the majority of them look to be people of color. The fact that as whatever you are, whatever your title is, peace officer or police officer, the fact that you did not have enough training to diffuse the situation, but only served to make the situation that much more heightened with distress and confusion, and that led to the point of you pulling out a pepper spray bottle to the rest of the people who were crying foul in the social services center. This is not only disgusting, but ridiculous. And this goes back to me feeling like if you are serving in a social capacity in a community, you need to be a resident of that community. That is something that I've always felt. I don't feel like, when I lived in Philly, I don't feel like cops in the Philadelphia city metro area should be people that live in the county. Because guess what? You don't give a fuck about the city, okay? You will be more apt to give a fuck about the way you treat people and the way you handle situations when you are a resident of that community. But too oftentimes, especially in urban areas, what you have is people policing us who don't even live amongst us. People serving us in a political capacity who don't even come from us. And we too oftentimes allow that to happen. So, speaking of politics, a Texas judge ruled yesterday that the Affordable Health Care Act, or what you guys would know as Obamacare, is unconstitutional. Judge Reed O'Connor ruled that the individual mandates are unconstitutional. This ruling will be dealt with by Congress, of course, because Nancy Pelosi has already said, bitch, I don't think so. You're not getting rid of Obamacare. The law still stands for now. So Obamacare is not gone away, folks. It's still there. However, what this means, because this happened in a state courtroom, what this means is that this is a threat to people with pre-existing conditions. So that is one of the biggest things that happened when Trump came into office, is that 2017, he had passed a tax bill that got rid of the financial penalties for people who were uninsured, right? He also tried to get in there that if you had pre-existing conditions, insurers would then be able to strike away your health insurance. So what Obamacare in essence does is it basically prevents insurers from charging someone who is already currently a sick patient higher premiums. Does that make sense? So, yeah, the reason why Obamacare has always been important to me has always been about, not so much about the uninsured part, but much more about what leads you to be uninsured. And for a lot of people, if you have a pre-existing condition, some of you couldn't even get health insurance because insurers would want to charge you such a crazy premium that you wouldn't have insurance. You wouldn't have the ability to get insurance. And Obamacare made it so that was not legal. So stay tuned. Let's see what happens with that, because if this goes all the way to the Supreme Court, federal, the Democrats have promised to try to protect Obamacare, but from the very beginning, any legislation that had the name Obama attached to it, the Trump administration was going to try to get rid of. Speaking of which, I think we all owe President Obama another hearty fucking thank you, as an Obama era rule led to $150 million in student loan forgiveness. Yes, that was just decided this week. So this means that this includes $80 million for former students of defunct Corinthian colleges. These were for-profit chain colleges, which collapsed in 2015. Not much unlike Trump University, but I go on. A judge ruled that Education Secretary Betsy DeVos was unlawfully delaying the forgiveness of student loans that is linked to Obamacare, actually. She was unlawfully delaying the forgiveness of student loans, which she felt forgiving the loans is a bad policy. Now, for any of you that has a student loan right now that you are still paying for, you and I both know that this shit, bitch, you are just hoping that Jesus is on the main line with your name and your debts can be forgiven too, honey. Because honestly, let's be real. College, I've never had anyone actually ask to see my degree. People just wanted to know that I was worthy enough to be at the table, so to speak. So getting your student debt forgiven is huge. I mean, if you guys recall, Mr. and Mrs. Obama both stated that even when they got to the White House, they still was paying student loans. They were just at that point able to pay off student loans. So shout out to them, and thank you very much, Obama, again. Now, there is going to be some delay. This could be delayed, the final forgiveness could be delayed up to 2020. But just the fact that this is already coming into play makes me happy. Okay. So just before we leave each other for this short little break, because this was fun. Thank you. I wanted to just share with you guys a little bit more in depth about where I had been and